They would eat the rats and then they would get sick and some of them would die.
Yeah. A lot of them die.
And then the rats would eat them.
Yeah.
Due to North Korea's notorious penchant for secrecy, comprehending its 25 million citizens' daily lives can prove quite a formidable task. The country tightly controls and closely scrutinizes the number of visitors it allows, making external insights scarce. Moreover, government statistics are frequently manipulated for political purposes, either inflated or deflated. However, one approach to gaining insights into North Koreans' everyday challenges is to listen to those who have escaped the regime. Today's video is dedicated to shedding light on this matter, delving into the grim realities of North Korea. These realities range from extreme child labor to suppressing basic human emotions, such as laughter, smiles, and merriment. Here are 20 hidden truths about North Korea that the regime would rather keep concealed. Number 20. North Korea's hellish prisons. In the darkest corners of North Korea, a harrowing tale of human suffering unfolds. Imagine a world where the very essence of humanity is stripped away and survival becomes a relentless battle against despair. This is the haunting reality faced by inmates in North Korean prison camps, where every moment is a cruel test of endurance. In these shadowy realms, sustenance is scarce, and desperate souls consume rats and frogs to ward off starvation. Cramped cells infested with lice offer no respite, while relentless beatings and torturous acts loom as daily horrors. Backbreaking labor, pulling plows for unending hours is the norm, as if to drain every last ounce of strength from the wretched prisoners. A staggering 200,000 souls languish under the despotic rule of Kim Jong-un, their lives marked by suffering and despair. Armed guards bearing automatic rifles and savage dogs patrol the grim compounds. Water and food are cruelly rationed, and torture methods like sleep deprivation and brutal beatings with iron rods are commonplace. Inmates endure this torment clad in a single set of rags, devoid of soap, socks, underclothes, or sanitary napkins. Families deemed guilty by association are condemned to generational suffering. The horrors of North Korea's prison camps include forced abortions, grueling labor, and the grotesque spectacle of prisoners digging their graves. This heart-wrenching ordeal is a relentless cycle, from sunrise to sunset where work knows no end. Loved ones are buried in straw, and prisoners face unfathomable brutality, from metal hammers to strangulation with rubber ropes. Escaping this nightmare means traversing electric fences, man-traps, and barbed wire barriers. Amidst this nightmarish abyss, survivors share their tales of unspeakable torment and unbroken resilience. North Korea's prison camps are a grim testament to the darkest depths of human suffering, where hope flickers but refuses to die. Number 19. Torture is rife in North Korea. In the shadow of secrecy, the horrors of North Korea's prisons unfold with a brutality that shatters all humanity. Torture is an everyday ordeal, a cruel echo of oppression that spares no one. The cries of prisoners, silenced by fear, resonate through the darkest corners of the regime. Behind the barbed wires, men and women are subjected to unspeakable torment for the slightest transgressions, lying imagined suspicions, or even a momentary lapse in patriotic song lyrics. A recent report unveils a staggering truth. Over 90% of interviewees have witnessed these beatings or suffered them firsthand during captivity. Tragically, many find themselves imprisoned because they dared to seek work and sustenance by crossing into China, a desperate bid for survival. The act of fleeing North Korea is met with draconian punishment under Article 62 of the 2004 Criminal Code, punishing citizens for daring to leave without state approval. The horrors continue as inmates are denied basic human dignity. Denied access to the toilet, they endure physical pain and humiliation, often receiving cruel and inhumane treatment for seeking relief. This heart-wrenching exposé reveals a grim reality hidden from the world's gaze, where lives are shattered, hope is extinguished, and the North Korean people endure unthinkable suffering in silence. Number 18. Freedom in Tresses. In the mysterious land of North Korea, where individuality often takes a back seat to conformity, even how you style your hair is subject to strict governmental control. The regime in Pyongyang has made it clear that North Koreans must choose from a predetermined list of 28 approved haircuts, each reflecting the state's stringent guidelines on personal appearance. While the regulations might seem oppressive, they carry a unique nuance that reflects the country's social hierarchy. Unmarried women, for instance, are mandated to sport short hair, a symbol of youth and innocence, while their married counterparts enjoy a more diverse array of styling options. This distinction reflects the government's desire to promote traditional family values. Young men are expected to keep their locks to a maximum of 2 inches, signifying youthful vigor and adherence to the state's ideology. However, as men age, they gain the privilege of growing their hair up 2, 3.5 inches, showcasing the wisdom that comes with years of experience. North Korea's unusual haircut regulations may seem quirky from an outsider's perspective. Still, they provide a unique lens into the intricacies of the nation's social structure and its emphasis on conformity and tradition. In a world where personal expression through hairstyle is taken for granted, North Korea's haircut rules stand as a testament to the distinctiveness of its society. Number 17. North Korea's silent hunger. In a nation shrouded in secrecy, where the daily lives of its people remain a mystery to the world, there exists a silent hunger that cries out for attention. North Korea, a land of rich culture and complex politics, faces a crisis that demands our collective compassion and action. The World Food Programme's startling revelation is a wake-up call to the conscience of humanity. 6 million North Koreans, out of a population of 25 million, are in dire need of food aid. A heart-wrenching statistic reveals that 1/3 of the nation's children are enduring the anguish of chronic malnourishment and stunted growth. Behind these grim numbers are countless untold stories of suffering and resilience. Escapees from North Korea witness a harrowing truth. Those born after the Korean War in the late 1950s are, on average, 2 inches shorter than their South Korean counterparts. The human spirit can endure much but should not have to endure such hunger. In a world of plenty, it is our moral imperative to reach out to our North Korean brethren. They exist on meager diets of corn and kimchi, a pickled cabbage, while the rest of the world feasts. As global citizens, let us unite under the banner of compassion to bring sustenance and hope to the people of North Korea. Their silent hunger must be heard, and our actions must speak louder than their cries. Number 16. Isolated echo. North Korea's information isolation. In the secretive realm of North Korea, where the flow of information is tightly controlled, the world outside remains a distant enigma. Imagine a place where all legal televisions are synchronized to state-controlled domestic programming, where the vast expanse of the internet is a rumor, and only a closed domestic network connects the populace. This is a stark reality for the people of North Korea. Amid this information isolation, the glimmers of connection are rare. Foreign visitors are granted a sliver of access through cellular 3G networks, offering them a glimpse beyond North Korea's tightly drawn borders. Yet, for most North Koreans, their knowledge of the outside world is crafted solely by the lens of North Korean propaganda. In this digital age, North Korea is a remarkable anomaly, where information knows no bounds. It's a place where the ordinary citizen's worldview is meticulously curated, their access to global events restricted to the narratives crafted by the state. It's a reminder of the power of information and the lengths to which a regime can go to maintain its grip on the hearts and minds of its people. In North Korea, the walls of information are high, but they cannot entirely stifle the human spirit's innate curiosity and desire for connection. While the world outside remains a distant mirage, the people of North Korea persist, finding ingenious ways to pierce through the shroud of secrecy that envelops their nation. Number 15. Sky-high dreams turn into down-to-earth challenges in North Korean penthouses. In many countries, living in a penthouse symbolizes luxury and success, but the reality is quite different in North Korea. Supreme Leader Kim Jong-un has been actively constructing impressive high-rise apartment buildings in Pyongyang, including an 8-story skyscraper recently completed. However, these towering structures, meant to showcase the nation's construction prowess, present numerous challenges for residents. Reliable elevators, electricity, adequate water supply, and concerns about construction quality are persistent issues that discourage North Koreans from residing on the upper floors of these buildings. Defectors like Jung Si-woo, who fled to South Korea in 2017, share stories of their experiences. Jung mentions that in North Korea, the poor often inhabit penthouses because elevator malfunctions and low water pressure make higher floors less desirable. While North Korea officially assigns housing, a growing number of people engage in illegal buying and selling, driven by the expansion of private markets under Kim Jong-un. Despite his promises to improve construction quality and provide thousands of new apartments, the country faces economic challenges due to COVID border closures, natural disasters, and international sanctions. Although the power supply has improved during Kim's leadership, infrastructure shortcomings persist. To make high-rise apartments more attractive, North Korea must address electricity and water supply issues and improve construction quality. Currently, many elevators only operate briefly during peak commuting hours, and low water pressure forces residents on higher floors to find creative solutions. In the quest for prestige and modernity, North Korea's lofty ambitions in construction often clash with the daily realities of its citizens, leaving many to grapple with the challenges of living in penthouses that fall short of their dreams. Number 14. Religious freedom in North Korea, a grim reality. In an eye-opening report from October 2021, the NGO Korea Future delivered a distressing account of the dire state of religious freedom in North Korea. The shocking findings reveal a government categorically denying its citizens the right to practice their faith. The report detailed a disturbing pattern of human rights violations, including arbitrary arrests, brutal detentions, torture, and even executions, all inflicted upon individuals simply because of their religious beliefs. The gravity of the situation is underscored by the fact that the government primarily targets Christians and adherents of shamanism, with horrifying consequences. Among the 244 documented victims, a staggering 150 practiced shamanism. At the same time, 91 followed Christianity, and others adhered to different beliefs, such as Kiondoism. Even more alarming is the government's tactic of punishing the family members of Christians, compounding the anguish. Open Doors USA Odusa paints a bleak picture, estimating that tens of thousands of North Korean citizens languish in prisons solely for their Christian faith. Odusa describes the persecution Christians face as violent and intense, with their lives hanging by a thread, constantly teetering on the brink of capture or death. In a chilling revelation from October 2020, the NGO Database Center for North Korean Human Rights, NKDB, documented 1,411 cases of religious persecution by authorities, including 126 assassinations and 94 disappearances. These harrowing statistics are based on reports from defectors and other sources spanning from 2007 to July 2020. Painting a stark picture of the horrific realities faced by those who dare to hold on to their faith in North Korea. The situation cries out for global attention and intervention to alleviate the suffering of the persecuted. Number 13. Education under pressure. In North Korea, a unique struggle unfolds as the academic year commences. Despite the government's emphasis on education, classrooms remain empty even 10 days into the new school year. The reason? Many children from impoverished backgrounds are absent, compelled to assist their families with the vital farming activities demanded by the ongoing planting season. North Korea's authoritarian regime may value education, but the reality tells a different story. Parents, who rely on their children's labor in the fields, now face stern warnings from authorities. These notices threaten interrogation and even public humiliation if their children do not attend school. Sources reveal that the county's education department has taken a firm stance, notifying parents who have kept their children out of school. These warnings extend to notifying party committees and workplaces if compliance is not achieved, while teachers face interrogation when class attendance dwindles. The heart of the issue lies in economic hardship. Children who fail to attend school often come from families struggling to make ends meet. These youngsters are caught between the pursuit of education and the necessity to assist their parents in preparing mountainous plots of land for farming during the critical planting season. In North Korea, a complex dilemma emerges as children attempt to balance their commitment to education with their crucial roles in sustaining their families through agriculture. Number 12. Exploited innocence child volunteers, driven into forced farming. In the secretive realm of North Korea, a grim reality unfolds beneath the facade of youthful volunteers aiding the nation's agriculture. In an astonishing twist of words, these young souls are coerced into laborious tasks on private plots, all in the name of shoring up the nation's economy. Deceptively labeled as volunteers by the authorities, the stark truth is that these children have no choice. Speaking under the cloak of anonymity, a brave resident of Horyong, North Hamgyong, revealed, "The truth is that the authorities are forcing them. It defies belief that young individuals would willingly embrace a life of toil in such harsh conditions." The Korean Central News Agency, KCNA, perpetuates this illusion, claiming that hundreds of courageous youths voluntarily engage in manual labor for the state. However, this narrative is far from the truth. Behind this smokescreen, human rights groups have relentlessly accused North Korea of exploiting children through forced labor. In the prime of their youth, these young souls deserve a brighter future than one bound by coercion and labor on private plots. It's time to unveil the hidden anguish and demand justice for these innocent lives trapped in the shadows. Number 11. Hear hopefuls, North Korean parents sacrifice for survival. In the heart-wrenching landscape of North Korea's economic struggle, a silent but powerful act of love unfolds as parents make unimaginable sacrifices for their children's survival. In the dead of night, or during the first light of dawn, mothers and fathers, driven by the relentless hunger gripping their nation, tenderly leave their beloved offspring at orphanages. This is no abandonment born of cruelty. It's an act of desperation, driven by an agonizing choice to ensure that, at the very least, their children can eat. Amid the harsh realities of North Korea's battered economy, the situation has reached a critical juncture. As reported by Radio Free Asia, parents vanish into the shadows, leaving no trace behind but their heart-wrenching hope for their children's future. These orphanages become beacons of hope, offering a glimmer of sustenance and shelter in a nation grappling with the ravages of the COVID pandemic. The pandemic has cast a long and dark shadow over North Korea, exacerbating the already dire food shortages. Parents display incredible resilience in this fight for survival, sacrificing their parental presence for their children's survival. The story of these North Korean parents is a testament to the indomitable spirit of love and the relentless pursuit of hope in the face of adversity. Number 10. The Kim Dynasty dominates. In the secretive realm of North Korean education, the Kims reign supreme. A captivating study conducted by the Korea Institute for Curriculum Evaluation has unveiled an astonishing fact. North Korean students spend a staggering 684 hours immersed in the lore of the Kim dynasty. From the current leader, Kim Jong-un, to his predecessors, Kim Jong-il, Kim Il-sung, and even the indomitable Kim Jong-suk, these iconic figures cast an unwavering shadow over the curriculum. Revolution and endless loyalty toward the party and the supreme leader is the resounding mantra of North Korea's educational system. But what lies beyond the classroom doors? A revealing journey into higher education unveils a stark reality. The doors of prestigious institutions like Kim Il-sung University are tightly guarded, only granting access to students with higher government officials, imprimatur, and impeccable academic records. The University of National Defense beckons as an elite destination for those gifted in the sciences and mathematics. But therein lies a problem, a stark contrast between the privileged few and the majority, as many students from royal family backgrounds secure coveted spots in higher education. The education landscape mirrors the broader North Korean society, where the Kim's influence reaches every corner. In a land where education is an ode to the Kim dynasty, North Korea's youth tread a path defined by loyalty, privilege, and an unwavering commitment to the state. Number 9. North Korean education, a propaganda-fueled system. In the secretive confines of North Korea's education system, a sinister tale unfolds as young minds are molded from kindergarten into loyal state servants. The educational journey commences innocently enough with the teaching of time, but there's a twist. It's all tied to Kim Il-sung's birth year, 1912, known as Year One in North Korea. In every classroom, the watchful eyes of Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il loom large, a constant reminder of allegiance. However, it goes beyond that. North Korean students are submerged in a sea of revolutionary history, where music, storybooks, novels, and artwork all pay homage to the omnipotent Kims. The United Nations Commission of Inquiry uncovered this educational facade's sinister purpose. It serves two dark goals: breeding unwavering loyalty to the supreme leader and instilling deep-seated hostility towards the United States, Japan, and South Korea. Yet, the indoctrination doesn't stop there. It breaches international law by crushing freedom of thought and expression. A damning 2018 UN report exposes North Korea's systematic abuse of human rights, including torture, inhumane detention conditions, abuse, public executions, and political imprisonment. Moreover, there are pervasive restrictions on freedom of thought, religion, expression, assembly, and movement. In the face of these egregious violations, North Korea rejects international censure. The world watches as a generation is held captive by a manipulative education system, wondering if the walls of indoctrination will ever crumble. Number 8. A Tale of Two Worlds. In the secretive realm of North Korea, a stark contrast of lifestyles defines the nation's social fabric. At the apex, an elite ruling class basks in the privileges of modernity, reveling in the comforts of indoor plumbing, sleek cars, succulent meat, aromatic coffee, and opulent luxuries. A step below, the middle class manages to secure a modest share of food and the occasional new garment. However, for the majority, life is an unyielding battle for survival, where deprivation is the norm. A staggering half of North Korea's 24 million inhabitants grapple with the abyss of extreme poverty, as the nation languishes at 197th place in the global GDP per capita ranking, with a mere $1,800 annually. This dismal figure stands at a paltry 2% of its prosperous southern neighbor, South Korea. The plight extends to the youngest generation, where 1/3 of North Korean children suffer from malnutrition, their growth stunted by deprivation. Meat, once a staple, has become an unattainable luxury for most. Instead, the populace sustains itself on humble sustenance like fermented cabbage, known as kimchi, alongside rice, corn, and porridge. Amid this, open fireplaces, predominantly heated homes, and flush toilets remain a luxury. Electricity, a sporadic visitor in many households, often graces them with just a few fleeting hours of light daily. Cell phones double as feeble flashlights in these dark times, symbolizing resilience amidst adversity. Number 7. Systematic oppression unveiled. In 2014, the United Nations Commission of Inquiry delivered a harrowing report that shed light on the horrifying human rights abuses prevailing in North Korea. This shocking exposé unveiled a dystopian reality characterized by atrocities, where the North Korean regime brutally suppressed its people. The report painted a distressing picture of life in North Korea, revealing a regime that perpetrated acts of assassination, enslavement, torture, and imprisonment on a massive scale. Women suffered forced abortions while abuse remained rampant and unchecked. The government's iron grip on its citizens was maintained through a chilling combination of public executions, arbitrary detentions, forced labor, stringent travel restrictions, and relentless religious persecution. In this Orwellian state, basic freedoms that most take for granted were conspicuously absent. North Koreans were denied the right to express themselves, assemble peacefully, engage in political opposition, or access independent media. A draconian socio-political stratification system further divided the populace into loyal, wavering, and hostile classes, perpetuating an environment of fear and suspicion. This disturbing revelation serves as a clarion call for the international community to stand against such grave human rights violations and advocate for a brighter future for the oppressed people of North Korea. Number 6. Incarceration's chilling legacy. North Korea's generational punishment. In the heart of North Korea, a haunting specter lurks, a chilling means of control that has left generations trembling in fear. The 3 generations rule, an unforgiving policy, casts a shadow over entire families when one member is convicted of a grave crime. The punishment? Not just for the guilty, but for their immediate family too. The next 2 generations born within the confines of the prison camps are condemned to a life of despair, where the concept of freedom is but a distant memory. Life inside these camps is a harrowing tale of survival. In a world where clothing and food are luxuries, prisoners are left to fend for themselves, eating rats and anything they can catch. The toll on their bodies is unbearable. The grueling 12-hour workdays, 7 days a week, are the norm, leaving inmates stunted and deformed from the unrelenting toil. This brutal system, designed to deter dissent and maintain control, paints a grim picture of North Korea's authoritarian regime. It is a haunting reminder of the lengths some governments will go to keep their population in check, sacrificing the hopes and dreams of generations. Now it's time for today's subscriber pick. Hundreds of women soldiers of the North Korean People's Army march through Pyongyang's Kim Il-sung Square like robots, their feet rising and falling in perfect unison to commemorate the conclusion of the Korean War 60 years ago. They march in exact rows of 24 across, as if every regulated limb had been placed with a slide rule. This picture of Kim's mini-skirted robot army somehow ended up on social media, and the masses were baffled to see their coordination, and the feet encased in laced-up mid-height heels point at the same angle as the front of each stride stretches out. Indeed, it is the result of hours upon hours of exhausting drills the women have to bear so that their leader can show off his military strength to the world. We salute the perseverance and spirit of these women because it's not easy to do this. Tell us in the comments if you guys would be able to perform such a flawless parade like these North Korean ladies. Number 5. Pyongyang's surprising modernization. In the heart of Pyongyang, a remarkable transformation is taking place, one that defies expectations and paints a picture of a city embracing modernity. The once isolated North Korean capital is now witnessing a surge in consumer technology as its residents eagerly purchase smartphones, tablets, hi-fi speakers, and HD TVs. While these gadgets might seem commonplace in other parts of the world, the context makes this story truly captivating. Though devoid of internet access, North Korean smartphones boast capabilities similar to their global counterparts. Instead of the World Wide Web, citizens navigate a meticulously controlled state intranet. Here, North Korean versions of Google, Facebook, chat rooms, and online dating services flourish, offering glimpses into an alternate digital universe. But the surprises don't stop there. Step into a Pyongyang mall, and you'll find food courts adorned with American-style fast food restaurants dishing out milkshakes and French fries. Furthermore, the city welcomed skating rinks in 2013, igniting a rollerblading craze among those fortunate enough to afford skates. Despite isolation, its residents find ways to embrace elements of global culture while remaining firmly rooted in their unique world. Number 4. Tragic tales of foreign nationals in North Korea. In the shadowy depths of North Korea, foreign nationals have endured harrowing ordeals, becoming unwitting pawns in a perilous game of politics and power. Their stories, marred by injustice and tragedy, are cautionary tales of a regime unafraid to trample on human rights. In 2018, the world watched as 3 American citizens, imprisoned for alleged anti-state activities and subjected to grueling labor camps, were released as a gesture of goodwill ahead of the U.S.-North Korea Leadership Summit. Yet the haunting specter of Otto Warmbier lingers, a young American student detained for a seemingly minor offense, stealing a propaganda sign. Otto's release came too late. His health deteriorated during 16 months of captivity, and he tragically succumbed shortly after returning home, sparking allegations of torture that led to a legal battle against North Korea by his grieving parents. 6 South Korean prisoners remain trapped in North Korean dungeons, their fate uncertain and their voices silenced. The dark history of North Korea's history reveals even more sinister acts. The regime admitted to kidnapping 13 Japanese citizens in the 1970s, exploiting them to train its spies. Notable abductions include a South Korean actress and her filmmaker ex-husband, seized in the 1970s, forced into cinematic servitude for the state, and miraculously escaping their captors. These tales underscore the urgent need for global attention and concerted efforts to secure the release of those unjustly imprisoned in North Korea, shining a light on the darkest corners of this secretive nation and demanding justice for the innocents trapped within its borders. Number 3. Gender inequality. In North Korea, where the world's gaze often fails to penetrate, a disturbing reality persists. Discrimination against women thrives. Beneath the facade of nominal equality, a harrowing landscape unfolds. As Mr. Fang astutely observes, there isn't a way to measure inequality in the North like how you measure the wage gap between males and females. Women in North Korea find themselves on the fringes of society, deprived of basic rights, education, and job opportunities. While the regime projects an image of strength, its female citizens remain vulnerable to unspeakable horrors. Violence is an ominous presence, with victims left voiceless, their pleas falling on deaf ears. Mr. Adams highlights the grim truth. Women are vulnerable. Bodily violence exists, but if someone assaults them, they have no one to complain to. These brave voices shine a light on the darkest corners of a nation where the plight of women is often overlooked. Reports abound of women enduring torture, abuse, and other unspeakable abuses within detention facilities. The military, too, stands accused of widespread body misconduct. In the face of such adversity, the world must strive for change and shed light on the unseen horrors plaguing North Korean women, for they deserve equality, safety, and justice. Number 2. Silent dissent. North Koreans whisper their truth about Kim Jong-un. In the secretive realm of North Korea, where the supreme leader, Kim Jong-un, is revered with near-deity status, questioning his authority openly is considered unthinkable by many. Citizens are brainwashed to believe he possesses all-knowing wisdom, and they are encouraged to report on anyone who dares to dissent, even if it's their family members. In this climate of fear and oppression, market trader Sun Hui, a pseudonym, defies the norm, fully aware that her life hangs in the balance. A citizen dares to speak out, echoing widespread discontent among her compatriots. Like many others, she criticizes Kim Jong-un for his perceived role as a businessman who profits at the expense of the common people. She describes him as a little man who cleverly extracts wealth, like a vampire draining blood. For months, this program has operated a clandestine communication network to glean insights from ordinary North Koreans, taking extreme measures to safeguard their identities and anonymity. This citizen's bravery underscores the grave risks they face. Exposure of her real identity could lead to severe repercussions, including imprisonment in the regime's brutal labor camps or even execution. Moreover, her entire family, spanning 3 generations, could suffer the same grim fate. Despite the pervasive culture of silence and fear, these brave whispers of truth offer a rare glimpse into the hidden world of North Korea, where questioning the regime's infallibility remains an act of incredible courage. Number 1. Elderly struggle to survive. In the heart of North Korea, a dire economic crisis is pushing its elderly citizens to extraordinary measures for survival. Struggling to make ends meet with meager state pensions and soaring prices, they have resorted to selling their precious beer ration tickets. This poignant situation reflects the alarming state of the country's economy. For decades, North Korean government salaries and pensions have failed to sustain basic livelihoods. The COVID pandemic and resulting border closures have exacerbated food shortages and driven prices to unreasonable levels, leaving many residents hungry and financially strained. In this bleak scenario, the elderly faced limited choices. One option was to sell government-issued beer ration coupons, providing approximately 2 liters of beer per month. Desperate to earn a few extra pennies, elderly citizens can be seen selling these coupons near the Taedonggang Beer Bar in Pyongyang. These coupons are bought by elderly traders who resell them at a small profit, earning $1.20 for a 6-month supply. Despite enduring sweltering conditions, elderly individuals without savings or support from their children are compelled to engage in this challenging trade. Some senior residents are even forced to sell their homes to afford sustenance. One family had to downsize from a spacious 3-bedroom apartment to a smaller 1-bedroom unit due to financial difficulties, even though the father had received the prestigious Hero of Labor title, entitling him to additional food rations and a slightly higher pension. The situation has been dire, with government pensions inadequate and the pandemic-induced economic crisis rendering survival nearly impossible for many elderly North Koreans. Some have likened the current struggle to the devastating arduous March famine of the 90s, emphasizing the plight of elderly individuals who lack family support or viable income sources. We hope you enjoyed this video. We'll see you in the next one.